Hi, thank you so much for joining me today. This is Jenny O, y'all with Nuggets and Things. I want to have you out here with me. I got my little flag blowing here. I just want to share something with you. I heard that I thought was so relevant for today, right? Um, you know, when we realize our position in life, our position, our position in life sometimes changes, right? But when we understand that our spiritual purpose for being here today, our spiritual purpose, not your natural one, but your spiritual one, right? Your reason for being here right now today is so much bigger than what you've ever imagined. But now, to get from point A to where you're supposed to be, let's say point D, to get there, you got to go through the B and the C. Now, because you don't know what B and C looks like, sometimes you get discouraged because you're at the B and you're going through gloom and doom. But it's not the end by far. It's not your end. We just happen to be here to go through what we have to go through so we could learn lessons. So when we get to D, we'll appreciate D. You know, sometimes we don't appreciate where we are. We don't appreciate the people who help us get to where we are. But some hard knocks, some heavy hits, sometimes make us think, about our life a whole lot differently. We view people differently and we see things differently. And because we do, it causes us to move differently. But we would never know how great someone is in our life or how great we are until we go through those knocks and bruises. I listen to stories that people tell so many times about the things they had to go through. But then I look where they are. You wouldn't imagine that based on where they are. They are today, the platform in which they sit or stand on. You would not know the only way they could have gotten there is through that dark pit. Sometimes the hell that you go in, that deep hell, the darkest places of your life, that you had to hit. You had to hit those measures in order to get to those high, catapults that you're getting into, right? Where your light is shining so bright. But in order for your light to shine bright, it has to be set. They set up on a hill or mountain, somewhere high that it gives its best effect, like a lighthouse. A lighthouse is not buried underground. It's up high. And it's at a place, even though the lighthouse is on the ground, they build it high enough that the light is up high enough that you can see it from afar. And it gives its best purpose when you can see it from afar. It's difficult sometimes to be able to see something when you're so close up on it. Sometimes you got to back away from things in order to see it at its best, right? Because, many times we're too close to a situation, to a person, to really see and view what we need to view. So even though you've had those hits in life, you've had some hard knocks, right? You've had some disappointment. Some people have walked away. Some people have left you. Some people have shamed you. Some people are ashamed of you. Whatever it is that you've been through, understand it had to happen to get you to your lightest place in this world, in this purpose, right? You have got to go through whatever it is you have to go through to get where you need to be. So when you get there, you will appreciate where you are. You will love where you are, and you would not desire to be anywhere else but there. Period. And so in our lives, understand that we may not like where we are, but where you're going to get to, the places you must hit, how high you will be in this world, the people that you are destined to meet up with is so much bigger than where you are today. Honey, it's probably 100 degrees outside. But I told a lady this today. I said, it may be 100 degrees outside. Let me pat my face, honey. Pat it. Ooh. It may be 100 degrees outside. But our bodies was created for this, right? It's just our minds is not set. And sometimes, I'm not even going to go through that too much longer because I know sometimes, it can confuse you more than it can bless you, right? But, what? Good gracious, honey. Where your mind is. I listen to people who have been in prison. Even though they had been physically in the prison, they were mentally free, right? Like some people can be physically free, but mentally they're in prison. So set your mind, get your mind to a place that no matter where you are built for that. And yes, it's hot. I mean, it is extremely hot. You see that sweat popping all over me? I ain't got no makeup on, so I can pop this, right? But no matter where I am, our bodies can adapt to where we are. We may not like it, we can complain about it, but it still doesn't mean that we cannot, adapt to where we are. People talk about over in the Holy Land, sometimes the temperature is 130 degrees during the day. 130 degrees, can you imagine that? And we complain about the 99 and the 110 sometimes we get, and they get that almost year round. So wherever you are in life, be appreciative of where you are, because it's going to get better. We're going to get better. Things are going to look a whole lot brighter at some point in our life. We just got to be able to get past the B so we can one day arrive to the D. And then when you get to D, you will look back at C and B and say, I'm so grateful those things happen. Now, I'm not saying that when those assaults happen in your life, that those violent places that you had to be in and the way you had been mishandled, or great things that happened. No, but they were things that had happened to get you where you needed to be. Sometimes people are telling you to move and you won't move. And so something happens to make you have to move because you won't go. Somebody says, you need to leave this town. You need to leave that person. You need to leave that situation. And you say, one day I am. One day I am. And you're supposed to be gone. But you stay there until it gets too hot and you can't stay there. And when it gets too hot and the situation gets so bad, you have no choice but to get up and go. But you have been asked to go a while back, but you just would not do it. We disobey. When our spirit kicks in and say, it's time to go. It's time to walk away. It's time to move. Whatever it may tell you to do, you've been directed politely. It's time to move. You know how somebody say, excuse me, miss, can I get by? They're politely asking you for permission to get by. And you ignore what they just said to you. They're being polite. You ignore that. So they say, excuse me, and they push you. Now, you're going to be pushing on me, but they asked you to move. Now we have gotten, we have elevated this situation only because, it's escalated, because you wouldn't move the first time. You have been asked to move. You have been asked to stop. You've been asked to walk away. You've been asked to go. You have been directed to do one thing or another, and you still sit there. Yeah, I am. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Until something happens, and you have no choice but to move, and to go, and to ask, and to be. So you can get to plan D. Think about that. And then, when you think about it, ask yourself, would you rather go because you've been directed, or you want to go when you've been pressured? Your choice. Anyway, much love to you. Let your lights forever shine. Be blessed, be powerful. Everything is working nothing like it's supposed to be, except you be the captain of your ship. Isn't it beautiful when you got that wheel sometimes and you can steer it? And so you sitting on the other side, let somebody steer for you. They take you where they want you to go, except for you going where you want to go. And I'm not talking about when your God is directing you, but I'm talking when other people are trying to tell you where you need to go and it's not where you want to be. Think about it. Jenny, all y'all nuggets and things, you have an awesome day. Let your light forever shine. I mean, the best light there is, right? Designed that way. Have a fabulous day. Blessings.